Hey, I'm John Mishler, and I live in Goshen, and my studio is at the old bag factory in the building next to the smokestack. Um, I welcome visitors to come in, but there's a lot going on, so you have to be careful if you come into my space. My studio looks a lot like a welding shop. When you think of an artist studio, you think of easels and paints and that sort of thing. Even though I do use paint, I also do welding. Different ways of making sculpture. You can make sculpture where you carve it from a solid form, like you would take a bar of soap and use a knife or something, and you can take away. I tend to do more of putting things together. I like to combine elements. I make shapes or cut out shapes, and then I put them together. Like the one behind me is made up of two shapes that right now is supposed to look like a vine because it goes on the pumpkin vine nature trail. The piece behind me then that has blue paint on it is made out of stainless steel, and the top of it turns. It turns randomly in the wind. There's no motor with it. And if you watch the turning part work, it goes through a notch. One part, it's mounted on one part, and the other part, it looks like it's going to hit, but they don't. It goes through this notch. And I hear people gasp when they look at my pieces, thinking it's going to hit. There's a lot of engineering involved in that, where I try and make it so it's close but not too close, so it will keep turning. And I often enjoy going and seeing my sculptures when after they're made. There's a piece over by the farmer's market, and that one has two turning parts. And whenever I go to the college for my studio, I always drive that way, and I can see how it's turning. Sometimes the bottom turning part turns faster than the top. Sometimes it's the other way around. And that's a mystery to me. I don't know why that happens. But it's fun for me to see how it works and how people interact with it. I never give up on things. Sometimes pieces don't fit, and so I don't ever throw them away. What I do is I set them aside, and that's often the piece I start with for the next sculpture. And that's how I get my ideas too. Often I find pieces of metal that I like, and I start with the material, just like as you're working on your sculptures. You'll start with a shape or something and kind of build on that. I start with a shape and then add more shapes to it until I have the total thing. But I often get my ideas from the shapes I have around me.